do? What are the odds? What are the odds? Hey, Tony P, what are the odds?
Hey, everybody. It is me, Tony P. That makes this Tony P. Oddcast. One of these days it's going to be me. It's going to be something that's not Tony P. Oddcast. I sort of just made up that logic and ran with it. Like, hey, it's me, so obviously this is Tony P. Oddcast. That's not true. There's a lot of things. Like, I went to work this morning, had a meeting this morning. Like, hey, everybody, it's me, Tony. That wasn't Tony P. Oddcast. So just roll with me. You know, that's the cool thing about having your own show. You just make up your own crap, your own rules. Clearly, if it's Tony P, that must mean, obviously, it's Tony P. Oddcast. But that awesome theme song is brought to you by Greg Klima. Thank you, Greg. I always got to give him a shout out at KLYMA.com. It's Klima.com. What's going on? You know, my take on animals. I like animals. I've talked about this on the show, especially since moving to Florida. There's all this fear of gators. If ever there's a body of water, you got to assume a gator. I just saw a TikTok video of some dude like smacking water. I don't know what he was smacking it with. Looked like a spatula or something. And some gator just popped out of the water. Like, why would you do that, man? That's not how you use a spatula. Scramble some eggs, make a pizza or something. Don't smack it on the water to make gators come out. But you know my rule. If you've listened to the show, you know the rule. I don't mind any wild animals, but they have their place. I have mine. I stay in my place. Usually that means in the house on the third floor, mind you. They stay in their place, whether it's gators, bears, whatever. There's designated gator spots. There's designated bear spots. And again, they stay there. I stay here. Look, man, we can all get along. It's one happy earth globe. I'm not going to be in any bear danger. I don't need bear repellent. I don't need to know, well, if you see a bear, you make yourself look big. No, I'm not doing any of that because I'm not going to see a bear. Simple as that. The bears seem to stay. They know better. They stay in their bear territory. It's always humans where they shouldn't be. And I know people can be like, well, there's bears that come to the houses. Well, it's because they built those houses in bear areas. Same thing with gators. Gators aren't walking up the stairs. Gators aren't getting on the elevator. You're going in the gator area. And the same thing goes for sharks. Speaking of sharks, this episode brought to you by West Side Story, the new movie coming out from Steven Spielberg, only on theaters and HBO Max or something. None of that is true. The West Side Story did not sponsor this episode because that would have been the worst ad read ever. Brought to you by this movie. I don't know where it's playing. But anyway, why am I talking about West Side Story? Welp! We have sharks. Are sharks unusually gathering along the East Coast? These creatures were seen swarming the East Coast in a recent viral social media post that caused a stir. So there's a social media post. There's like a shark tracker or something. News to me. And apparently, according to some people, all the sharks were like lining up on the East Coast. And so someone shared the Twitter post, sharing a screenshot of the OSearch shark tracker, which is apparently powered by SeaWorld. I didn't know that either. SeaWorld's big out here. I should probably learn that. And they said sharks are amassing on the East Coast. Oh, come on, man. Damn it. Can't have nothing. The photo shows a massive buildup of these marine predators solely along the East Coast. Is this normal? Or could this be a sign of a natural disaster? I don't know if it's normal or not. I don't know jack about sharks. I don't track sharks. I don't care about sharks. I try to leave sharks alone. But I don't, of the natural disasters I'm aware of, it's not a natural disaster. Oh, or is it a Sharknado? It could be a Sharknado. Anyway, the guy who posted the tweet said, am I overthinking this? That tweet got 53,000 likes and was retweeted over 3,000 times. But here comes Toby Curtis, a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration fishery management specialist. Holy crap. I did not read that ahead. I did not expect homie's title to literally be an entire line. But anyway, according to him, I'm going to do this again. There's nothing to be concerned about here, according to Toby Curtis, a National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration fishery management specialist. I guess I can't argue with that. Healthy oceans have healthy shark populations. Well, that's good to know. There's literally millions of sharks in the ocean and dozens of species, and they've always been out here doing their thing. Okay, Toby. It's just that we now have the technology to see where they are in real time. He said about shark tracking in regards to OSearch's tracker, the nonprofit organization. They've done most of their recent tagging in the Atlantic, so it's going to show a bunch of sharks in the Atlantic. But that doesn't take away from the fact that there's still a lot of sharks. Like, I get it's not a fair representation. Like, hey, there's also sharks other places. Yeah, but there's still a bunch of sharks here. There's millions of sharks. It doesn't make me feel any better. Again, I think he's missing the point. Like, hey, man, there's a bunch of sharks in the East Coast. Don't worry about it. There's actually millions of sharks. Now I'm more concerned. There's millions of sharks cruising up and down the West Coast as well. They just haven't been tagged in recent years. The Twitter user's screenshot came from the shark tracking app, which can also be accessed online. At first glance, comparing the website and app, it might seem like there's more sharks along the East Coast than there are anywhere else. But if you zoom in, there's the same amount of sharks on both coasts. That just means they're flanking us. Like, at first, when I opened up this article, I thought, like, oh, they're coming from, they're attacking from this side. Wrong. They're attacking from both sides. The vast majority of sharks that appear on the shark tracker are miles offshore, acting like they can't swim. Dude, I can walk a mile. So if I can do it, I know some sharks can swim a couple miles. So the suggestion that they're amassing along the beaches is kind of silly, because if you actually zoom in, you can see where each shark is. And although they pass near the shore, they're still miles away from the beaches. Those along the Atlantic, you know what? And that's why I don't love the beach, but I don't mind it. I'll go into the water a little bit, like up to like I don't know, like my chest. When it starts getting to the point where the water's telling me where to go, I'm like, no, that's not what we're doing. I run this beach. I'm not going to go where the water pushes me and then you're out floating too far, then a shark gets you. And then you're on the news crying, oh man, a shark. And then they're like, well, were you in the shark area? And you got to say yes. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got a little shark tangent there. According to Curtis, again, the dude with the super long shark title, all the sharks along the Atlantic coast are kind of like snowbirds. They generally spend their summers in the northern parts of the coast, and then in the fall and winter, they migrate south to warmer weathers. So, during the winter, they come to Florida, where I moved, where we already have too many gators. The tracker currently shows a good number of great white sharks along the East Coast, even though they're actually one of the least common sharks on the coast. And again, that's just because they're the most heavily tagged. That doesn't make me feel better. It's like tag bias that you're seeing. Only those that are tagged are the ones showing up on the report. So what you're telling me is there's even more sharks than the amount of sharks that had us concerned.